White Castle stands apart among the sea of fast food rivals. There's no dollar menu, no name-based ordering system, and no reference to the cuisine it offers in the name. Even the way they fry their hamburgers is a little peculiar. However, the business is widely credited for creating the concept of a fast food restaurant and promoting hamburgers. White Castle has almost a century of experience in the industry, making it one of the biggest fast food franchises in the US, if not the entire globe. That's not the case though. The business continues to be very picky about the areas it chooses to enter. Let's discuss the 10 secrets of the White Castle. Number 1. The first fast food chain. Today, the United States is not short of fast food restaurants. With local and national fast food restaurants, we have a wide variety of options, including tacos, Caribbean cuisine, and plain good old hamburgers. You might be surprised to learn that this fast food business started in 1921 with little old White Castle. Edgar Waldo Billy Ingram and Walter Anderson began a little White Castle-like burger joint in Wichita, Kansas, with barely $700. Ingram originally intended to start an insurance company. He only changed his mind after encountering Anderson and becoming persuaded that burgers were the way to go. As a result, the burger chain rarely even existed. According to the company's written documents, the quick service of providing the customers with bags of 5-cent hamburgers cooked to a precise standard at each site gave rise to fast food. The assertions made by White Castle that it popularized the hamburger are arguably even more revolutionary than the fast food concept. Although they can't claim to have created the hamburger, still, that's up for debate. They did influence Americans' perceptions of the sandwich. Number 2. The creator of White Castle created the contemporary hamburger. Short order cook Walt Anderson enjoyed experimenting with the size and form of the burger patties he delivered in Wichita, Kansas. But according to legend, Anderson's most incredible creation came about accidentally when he broke one of the hamburgers he was preparing with a spoon out of frustration because they kept sticking to the skillet. The flattened patty was created as a result. Number 3. There are numerous imitations of the White Castle name. During the 1920s and 1930s, competitors with titles like White Palace, Royal Castle, and White Clock emerged to duplicate White Castle's success. One business, the White Tower chain based in Milwaukee, even examined the precise dimensions of White Castle establishments and used them to construct its medieval-style structures. So White Castle filed a lawsuit in 1929. Following a court struggle, including a second case, White Tower consented to pay an $82,000 settlement and give its buildings a modern, deco-inspired design. Number 4. Working for White Castle used to be a fantastic opportunity. If there is one job that's despised these days and has been for many decades, it's fast food employment. There are several claims and misconceptions relating to working for a fast food business, such as calling it a McJob or someone noting that at the very least, they're not flipping burgers for a living. While that is no longer true, as most fast food establishments have attempted to improve working conditions by offering higher wages, better benefits, and opportunities for advancement, the reality is that, as recent events have demonstrated, continuing to work for a fast food restaurant remains not the best job in the world. This wasn't always the case, since White Castle once had to pay their staff between $18 and $30 per week, which was a century earlier. Aside from that, White Castle provided paid benefits that were not common in those pre-union days, such as paid sick days, public pensions, remember those? And prospects for advancement. All are owing to the 5-cent hamburgers they used to offer by the sackload. Number 5. White Castle is more than just a burger joint. As a company, White Castle appears to be relatively straightforward. The best hamburger in history is undoubtedly made by a company that operates restaurants that were formerly burger stands. Anyone who has seen the movie The Founder, which is about the establishment of McDonald's, may be aware that owning a fast food empire involves a lot more than just the food or the location in which it's produced, as the industry is competitive. There are numerous chances for individuals to earn money through side jobs. White Castle is no exception, as the company's first CEO intended all White Castle restaurants to be modest, affordable, and simple to construct when it was first established. White Castle found a business to produce inexpensive porcelain and steel buildings so they could profit from making their structures to keep everything in-house. They also acquired the company that manufactured the paper hats provided to their employees in 1932, which turned out to be a goldmine in and of itself by the 1960s when they were manufacturing over 50 million party hats for the fast food industry. Number 6. The burgers used to be seen as healthy. Jesse McClendon, a professor of physiological chemistry at the University of Minnesota, was recruited by White Castle co-founder Ingram to undertake a study on Americans' aversion to hamburgers. Bernard Flesch, a medical student at the university, was only given water and White Castle burgers for 13 weeks by McClendon. The study found the consumers could eat nothing except our hamburgers and drink and develop fully all physical and mental capabilities, because Flesch consumed as much as 20 per day. Sales soared over the subsequent 10 years when Ingram aired advertisements implying as much. Number 7. The hamburgers have holes in them for a reason. A Cincinnati-based White Castle employee named Earl Howell proposed that the now famous patties could be cooked more quickly if pierced with a series of tiny holes in 1954. He had some profound insight. To this day, every White Castle burger is made with 5 spots each. In a 2017 discussion with Thrillist, White Castle Vice Chairman Jamie Richardson stated, "We actually own the trademark on the machine that generates the 5 holes. It's referred to as a meat horn." Earl Howell said that poking holes in the burgers would speed up the cooking process. The holes made it easier for steam to infiltrate the patties, resulting in more consistent cooking, more evenly dispersed onion flavor, and no need to turn them. Howell currently has a spot in the White Castle offices in Columbus, Ohio's Hall of Fame. Number 8. Nothing ever left the city. It's intentional for White Castle to have its oldest locations in urban areas. According to David Gerard Hogan, who wrote Sell 'em by the Sack, the official history of White Castle, Ingram founded White Castle by serving the urban working man. White Castle lasted when suburban migration peaked in the 1950s and 1960s, and locals continued to enjoy its affordable rates. Number 9. White Castle did not foresee the enormous success of its debut newspaper coupons. Billy Ingram arranged to have vouchers for reduced hamburgers posted in mainstream papers on June 3, 1933, taking a lesson from local supermarket marketing tactics. Hogan noted in Selling 'em by the Sack that the discount program might have been too effective initially. Some castles experienced such a surge in demand that they ran out of food in less than an hour, causing their domestic supply companies to scramble to keep up. Number 10. White Castle hamburgers are steamed, not grilled. The bet of onions is to indirectly cook the hamburgers by cooking them with the steam from the fried onions. The crave case from White Castle holds exactly 30 sliders, and they can be cooked 30 at a time and come off the grill quickly. Thank you for watching. That was all from our side. Let us know in the comments section if you have anything else about the White Castle. And don't forget to subscribe.